Why do the banks need XRP? A lot of people talk about XRP, moving value seamlessly, payments, efficiency, and why XRP is the answer. But what many folks miss is that XRP on the balance sheet as a reserve currency or as an asset that is set to appreciate in price significantly can help these banks out in another way. And that's in adjusting the hundreds of billions of dollars of unrealized losses that they have on their balance sheet. That is a major problem for the biggest banks, not only here in the United States, but around the world. And so Bank of America, we just got the report, has 130 billion of unrealized losses on their bonds. Not good. And we see about 400 to 600 billion in unrealized losses, depending on who's keeping count, on the rest of the banks here in the United States that, have unrealized losses on their balance sheet that are going to be crippling unless they provide an answer. And someone has to come forward and solve this problem. And this is separate from the payments issue. This is separate from cross-border payments. XRP does that as well. But these banks need to fix their balance sheets. When you add suppressed assets like XRP, like gold, like some of these other suppressed assets that we've been talking about getting set free here, the ability to write up those assets as they appreciate in price over the coming decade is how you fix these horrendous balance sheets that these banks have. So in today's update, we're going to go through the current events, cryptocurrency, and the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, why they are making sure they're getting on the right side of the transfer of wealth by stacking XRP. They've been testing XRP for years. I went back, and it's just incredible. I was going back reading old articles about Ripple from 2015, 2016, and 2017. And it did make me feel kind of warm and fuzzy inside reading articles that were bullish about Ripple, excited about Ripple, versus in the middle of this bear market recession, we're just like desperately hoping and praying for some good news and price action. It's incredible when you go back through the Wayback Machine and you read some of these old articles and just how bullish the moves were during the last bull run, how excited folks were for Ripple and XRP. And I can't wait to see that excitement brought back. And what it did also is it confirmed that some of these banks have been working with Ripple literally since 2014, 2015, approaching nearly a decade of partnerships with Ripple and XRP, well over a decade of uptime for the XRP ledger. And not only is it solving cross-border payments efficiencies in that regard, but we need to fix the balance sheets. A lot of folks overlook that. A lot of folks think that it's inappropriate to call XRP a reserve currency. A lot of folks think that that's crazy talk, even though Ripple themselves stated in 2017 that they had a simple goal of making XRP a world reserve digital currency that was as liquid as a G10 currency. So when Ripple says that it's okay, but when I say that I want to treat my XRP like a reserve currency and that I'm going to be holding on to it probably forever and might not ever sell some of my XRP, I'm a crazy, right? And you guys understand this is why we do what we do here, coming every single day with the content that matters most. If you appreciate these updates, I'm going to try to go through this rather quickly because I know time is money and we got a lot happening these days. It's definitely crazy. Markets back up today, 28,650 for our Bitcoin. Ethereum up to 1565 and XRP back to 50.5 cents. Taking a look here at the stocks, checking it. And the DXY back down today. All the stocks really back down today. Tesla getting smacked 9.3% on Tesla. But gold continues the rally up to 1,985. So up another 0.24, almost 25 basis points there. And silver back up 0.5% to 23.15 per ounce. And then oil continuing up to $93 for your Brent worldwide benchmark and up to $90 for the U.S. crude oil benchmark. And we take a look here at our Bitcoin chart. And we see that Bitcoin did rally up to about 29,000 here earlier today, consolidating back down. But this thing's really hanging out here well. And I think that we could see this move sustained over the next couple weeks, or so, at least holding out here. What I'm waiting for, the news that I'm waiting for that'll bring us back down is that the SEC is not approving those Bitcoin spot ETFs. They, the press release, they were due 2 days ago and we still haven't heard anything. So I'm assuming that they haven't been approved. I'm assuming that they're delayed. They haven't been denied. I'm sure they would have been happy to give us that announcement. But this temporary pump based off the fake news that happened Monday has everyone excited again. Along with this narrative of the war taking place, has Bitcoin pumping, has XRP going. A couple other cryptos are moving with it. But, Bitcoin dominance really growing right now as folks are seeking sustainability. This is why savings had grown so much over the last year. Now we're starting to see savings fall off, and folks are moving to alternatives. Bitcoin moving, XRP's been moving, but now you're seeing gold has really rallied and really separated from the rest of the markets and the stocks. Gold, silver, and oil climbing back up. So real value climbing back up. Meanwhile, we take a look here at the current events. Kobesi Letter reports that the total U.S. debt is now up $650 billion since it crossed $33 trillion exactly 1 month ago. So in 1 month time, we're up another $650 billion. And yesterday, we jumped by $58 billion in 1 day. We have been growing on average $22 billion per day for the last month. In other words, we have added $950